Ah, to be young again. You don't know how lucky you are, kid.
Everyone always says that, but I'm drowning in student loans. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and social media makes me feel like I'm 10 steps behind everyone else. What's so lucky about that?
Do you think that confusion ends with age? Let me tell you something. At 70, I still don't have it all figured out. The only difference is, I've stopped caring about keeping up. That's the real freedom of getting old. Nobody expects you to be cool or successful anymore.
That actually sounds kind of nice, but you must have figured out something in 70 years.
Sure, like how my back will never stop hurting and that naps are life's greatest gift.
I could use a nap right now. My schedule is insane. Between classes, work, and trying to have some sort of social life, I barely sleep.
See, you young folks run yourselves into the ground trying to do everything at once. When I was your age, we worked hard, sure, but we weren't constantly comparing ourselves to 1,000 strangers on the internet. Stop doing that. It is destroying your life. And what's the benefit you get from social media? You spend your free time doing something that isn't relaxing at all. I don't get it. Go outside, sport, chat, explore. There is so much to discover.
Yeah, social media is exhausting. It's like, no matter what I do, someone's out there doing it better, making more money, looking happier.
You know what I had at 20? A newspaper, a black and white TV with 3 channels, and a whole lot of ignorance. And you know what? I was blissfully unaware of what everyone else was doing. If I got a promotion, I felt good about it without needing 500 likes to validate me.
Okay, that's fair, but at least I have access to unlimited information. I can learn anything online. I have more opportunities.
And yet, somehow people are dumber than ever.
All right, that's because there's too much information. Nobody knows what to believe.
That's why you gotta think for yourself, kid. And speaking of thinking, what's your opinion on politics these days?
It's a mess. The economy sucks, the planet is dying, and politicians seem more interested in arguing than actually fixing things.
Ah yes, the good old days of government incompetence. Never went out of style.
But at least when you were young, things were more affordable, right? My rent is half my paycheck. And don't get me started on groceries.
Truth, things were cheaper, but we also made a lot less. And we worried about different things. We had the Cold War hanging over our heads. Thought we might get nuked any day.
Great, so every generation gets its own flavor of anxiety. Love that for us.
Pretty much. The trick is to focus on what you can control. Have a plan, work hard, and don't waste your time worrying about things you can't change.
Easier said than done.
Ain't that the truth? But tell me, how do you feel about family? Do you want to get married? Have kids?
I have no idea. It feels so far away. Honestly, I'm just trying to get through next semester.
I get it, but let me tell you something. Family is what matters most in the end. Not your job, not your bank account. When you're old like me, you'll want people around you who care.
Yeah, but what if I mess up? What if I'm not a good dad or husband?
You will, and you won't be perfect, but nobody is. The important thing is to show up and keep trying, and always remember, marriage isn't about finding the perfect person, it's about learning to love an imperfect person perfectly. It's about patience, laughter, and knowing when to apologize even if you don't think you were wrong. Pick your battles wisely and never stop making small gestures that show you care. In the end, love isn't in the grand moments. It's in the everyday kindnesses.
That's good advice. What about work? Did you like your job?
Some days, sure. Other days, I wanted to set my desk on fire and walk away.
Same. So, what kept you going?
Bills, mostly. But seriously, I worked hard so I could take care of my family. And because even though work was tough, I found purpose in it. That's the key. Find something that matters to you. Purpose isn't always obvious at first. Sometimes you have to try different paths, fail a few times, and learn what doesn't bring you fulfillment before you find what does, and once you do, you have to nurture it. Passion alone won't carry you through the tough days. You'll need discipline, resilience, and a sense of humor. The trick is to remind yourself why you started, celebrate small victories, and surround yourself with people who encourage you to keep going.
What if I never do?
You will. Just keep trying things, and remember, you don't have to have it all figured out right now.
You know, talking to you makes me feel a little less lost.
That's what old men are for, kid. That and complaining about our knees.
Speaking of, how is it being old? I mean, really.
It's not all bad. Sure, my body's falling apart, but I don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. I can say whatever I want, wear socks with sandals, and take naps whenever I please.
Okay, that does sound kind of good.
It is, but youth has its own perks, you know. Energy, opportunities, the ability to eat a whole pizza without regretting it for 3 days.
Yeah, but you get discounts at restaurants.
Fair trade, I suppose. We had a nice chat, kid. I should go take a nap now. Grandpa is tired, and remember, don't rush through life. You've got more time than you think.
I'll try, and you keep enjoying those naps.
Oh, I will. These naps are just like life. You think you close your eyes for just a few seconds, and then you wake up in a whole new decade.